And I have been put through the mill on the back of 2 false statements. So, well, I think they're false statements. Again, the police didn't share those statements with us. It's a bizarre situation, and it was supported by a statement, as I understand it, because the police wouldn't share the evidence with us. They're supposed to.
Reform UK MP Rupert Lowe has been cleared by the Crown Prosecution Service after serious allegations threatened to end his political career. The CPS determined there was insufficient evidence after reviewing witness statements and police files. But here's the twist: Lowe was suspended by his own party before any legal decision was reached. This case exposes a troubling reality in modern politics. The allegation often causes more damage than the truth can repair. Is this justice or just politics as usual? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. The allegations that hit Rupert Lowe weren't just damaging. They triggered an immediate political reaction that speaks volumes about how modern parties operate. Reform UK didn't hesitate for a moment before suspending Lowe. No waiting for police investigations. No gathering of evidence, just swift political distancing that left Lowe isolated and effectively branded as guilty in the court of public opinion.
Crown Prosecution Service, and we were told that they're snowed under, so it took rather longer than we would have hoped to basically for justice to prevail. In answer to your question on why Reform did it, I guess what they were trying to do was politically assassinate me. This is my opinion.
This immediate suspension raises serious questions about Reform UK's internal processes. What happened to the presumption of innocence? What about allowing a member the dignity of a fair hearing before punishment? The party leadership apparently decided these principles weren't as important as protecting their public image. It's a troubling calculation that puts political expediency above fundamental fairness. The timing here is particularly interesting. Reform UK has been gaining significant momentum in British politics recently. Their polls have improved, their message has gained traction, and they've positioned themselves as a genuine alternative to the established parties. And right at this critical juncture, when they are attracting more scrutiny and attention than ever before, these allegations emerge against Lowe. The party's reaction suggests internal panic.
How do I feel? I feel fine. I mean, I felt fine because I knew that there was no veracity to any of the accusations. So, look, I mean, it's not a satisfactory process, and the first thing that should happen is witness statements should be challenged.
A fear that any association with controversy might derail their political momentum. If you look carefully at how Reform UK handled this situation, you'll notice they created considerable distance between themselves and Lowe before any evidence had been properly assessed. This wasn't about waiting for facts. It was about managing public perception. Reform UK made a clear political calculation. Better to sacrifice one MP than risk the party's rising fortunes. Due process became collateral damage. Other political parties have faced similar situations with MPs under investigation. Some have taken more measured approaches, implementing temporary steps while investigations proceed. Reform UK's approach appears particularly harsh. Complete suspension before any legal determination had been made.
A pensioner with a completely clean record. I've never committed a crime in my life that I've been convicted of. You, if you're accused of something, are supposed to be able to answer to the police as to why what has been said is not true, but they didn't want to share it with my lawyers.
This created an immediate perception of guilt around Lowe that would be nearly impossible to shake off, regardless of the eventual outcome. What this case truly exposes is the vulnerable position of individual politicians in our system. When allegations emerge, parties often prioritise their brand over their people. Reform UK's actions demonstrate the cold reality of modern politics. Public relations concerns trump procedural fairness for their own members. Politicians exist in a perpetual state of vulnerability, where a single allegation, proven or not, can end careers overnight while party leadership watches from a safe distance. Is this the political accountability we want, or just ruthless self-preservation dressed up as principle? The CPS investigation into Rupert Lowe went far deeper than most people realise.
And I have been put through the mill on the back of 2 false statements. So, well, I think they're false statements. Again, the police didn't share those statements with us. It's a bizarre situation, and it was supported by a statement, as I understand it, because the police wouldn't share the evidence with us. They're supposed to.
While Reform UK was busy distancing themselves from their MP, the Crown Prosecution Service conducted weeks of meticulous examination. They didn't just glance at a few statements. They assembled a comprehensive file of evidence, including multiple witness testimonies and full documentation from the Metropolitan Police. This wasn't a cursory review, but a thorough legal assessment that began as early as April 9th. Despite the serious nature of the allegations against Lowe, the CPS reached a decisive conclusion. Malcolm McAfee, head of the CPS's Special Crime Division, stated there was simply not enough evidence to proceed with any charges. The CPS didn't merely suggest the case was weak, they delivered what they called a firm no on whether there was any realistic prospect of conviction. This represents a complete legal clearance for Lowe, though one that arrived far too late to prevent significant damage. What exactly did the CPS examine?
But the WhatsApp chains following it didn't support it. One of the witness statements didn't support it.
But why?
So look, I mean, why did they do it? I think it was a political assassination attempt, and what they were doing is they were trying to make the story fit.
Their investigation considered all witness statements, Metropolitan Police files, and applied their standard legal test to determine if prosecution was viable. This wasn't about determining guilt or innocence in the absolute sense. The CPS serves as a filter, assessing whether criminal proceedings should move forward based on objective legal standards. In Lowe's case, the evidence simply didn't meet that threshold. While the matter technically remains subject to the victim's right to review scheme, such reviews rarely overturn original decisions unless significant legal errors are found. The likelihood of reversal seems minimal given the CPS's confidence in their assessment. Yet Reform UK's leadership had already made their judgment long before any legal conclusion. They suspended Lowe immediately after allegations emerged, creating clear distance between him and the party. This swift political calculation protected their image, but sacrificed Lowe's presumption of innocence. Even now, with legal clearance in hand, Lowe's political momentum and reputation have suffered potentially irreparable damage. This case perfectly illustrates a troubling reality in modern politics. Allegations alone often cause more lasting damage than any subsequent truth can repair. The initial accusation generates headlines. The eventual exoneration merits only a footnote. For Lowe, the political consequences remain severe, despite being legally cleared. His career trajectory has been fundamentally altered, not by legal findings, but by his party's preemptive abandonment. This raises profound questions about fairness in our political system. When parties prioritise public relations over procedural justice, they create a system where allegations become weapons and truth becomes secondary to managing perception. Is this the political accountability we want? The Rupert Lowe situation exposes something fundamentally broken in our political system. We've created an environment where perception matters more than truth, where parties sacrifice their own members to avoid bad press. This case reveals the stark choice facing politicians: protect your colleagues' right to due process or protect your party's image. Reform UK now faces a critical test. Will they apologise and reinstate Lowe after his legal clearance? Their decision will define how they handle future internal matters as they continue gaining political influence. The court of public opinion moves faster than legal proceedings, but justice requires patience. The damage to reputations happens instantly. Repair takes far longer.